Alright, before we move to the next season, let's go over the stuff I hate to see in these episodes. These include tearjerkers and Twilight torture. So if we run into these two problems, we just know that there's no gold at the end of the rainbow. But let's move on to Season 2, shall we? Alright, here we go. The episode starts with Discord breaking free from his statue after centuries of being trapped. And when the main six are about to get the elements, they're missing. Discord stated that he took them and the main six thought they were in the maze. So Discord not only takes away their wings and horns, gotta say that was a really good idea, but he also turns 5 of them into the opposite of what they are. So they fail the challenge and it ends. I kinda like this one because of what it has, but I think this episode was missing something. Let's hope these episodes start to get better. I'm saying C tier. Picking up where we left off, Twilight eventually finds the elements in her house. In a book? Okay, how could those fit in a book? But anyways, it was pretty much useless since using them didn't work and Twilight becomes gray as well. That's basically all the good things I can say. But the rest of the episode was just filler and it's just not entertaining. It was actually kind of boring to me. Like, I want to see a new hero or something. Seriously, all they had to do was not make the main six stop Discord and have another hero do it, and I would have given this one another C tier. But no, they made the way I hate it, so now this episode has an F tier. I hope they're happy. Having Twilight moving to Ponyville, she has to write a letter of what she learned. Otherwise, she thinks she has to go back to kindergarten. So she tries to find a problem to solve, but she gets more insane in the process, and eventually makes a problem herself to solve. So, Lesson 0 is pretty bland. I like the plot, but none of the attempts are interesting to me. It's honestly a D tier. It's Nightmare Night in Ponyville.
Trick or treat, smell the ow!
Hit him with the corn! Jeffy, no more hit him with the corn!
Luna is back, but for some odd reason, everyone is scared of her. Twilight tries to help Luna be less threatening, and that's how Luna changed. Well, I do like Pinkie being a chicken even though she's too old, but the whole plot is kind of weird. The story here makes enough sense, and I know what they were going for. Making this into a Halloween episode is a good idea. However, it felt weird to me. I like this episode, but I don't love this episode, you know? So this episode is a B tier. Rarity lashes out at Sweetie Belle because of the chaos in the beginning. So they go their separate ways, and Sweetie Belle lives with Applejack. But after Rarity regrets what she did, she competes in a race to get Sweetie Belle back. Although Rarity gets muddy, she powers through and wins the race to get Sweetie Belle back on her side. So what was bland? The ending. What was horrible? Well, everything else. F tier. Apple Bloom is still upset about not having a cutie mark. So she drinks a potion from Zekora to give her a mark. And it works too much. Turns out this is a case of the cutie pox. It's a case where you get too many cutie marks and you start going crazy and start causing chaos. I gotta say, this episode had it all. Extreme stuff, a good name for a disease, and good characters to bring back. I don't have high hopes for this season, so I'm guessing this is probably an A tier. Okay, you guys need to guess what this episode is all about. Is it 1, a playdate with pets? Or 2, a pet competition? If you chose option 2, get yourself a cookie. Rainbow Dash holds a competition with animals to see which one is going to be her pet. Fluttershy wants a turtle to join the competition, and Rainbow Dash gives in. And this turtle saves Rainbow Dash after she gets caught in the landslide, which means the turtle wins. You know what? I'll just say B tier and let's move on. This episode involves Rainbow Dash saving the day when there's trouble. Okay, that concept just made me love this episode so far. And eventually, we get introduced to Ne'er-Do-Well. It's pretty funny how her name isn't a derivative of Batman. But anyways, Ne'er-Do-Well becomes the new hero, and Rainbow Dash is jealous. And when she reveals the truth, it was actually Twilight, Applejack and Pinkie Pie, because the other 5 ponies got sick of her ego. That plot twist really blew my mind, and this episode is really entertaining. I'm still not ready to give out an S yet, but it can definitely go NA tier. The episode begins with Rarity staying in the castle. She needs to attend Twilight's party, but Rarity is getting too carried away with her life in the castle. So she has to decide to stay at the castle or go back and celebrate. But in a turn of events, she tries to do both at the same time. But in the end, she chooses her friends. My favorite scene is when the 5 ponies surprise Rarity out of nowhere. I think the middle was dumb, but otherwise it was a good episode. B tier. Back-to-back birthday episodes? That's kind of strange, to be honest. So, Spike gets a kiss from Rarity and he doesn't want to wipe it off, but Twilight wipes it off. Feeling down, Spike goes around Ponyville trying to collect stuff from other ponies. But this activates a condition known as a growth spurt. This causes Spike to grow and be more greedy. So the main 6 try to prevent Spike from being greedy. Eventually, Rarity shows Spike what he gave her, and that made him feel guilty. And so he goes back to normal, and the main 6 are glad to have him back. Well, I found the whole episode to be more entertaining than the previous episodes we've ranked. Now, this should without a doubt be an A tier. And I get that. It is not top tier. But we're already on episode 10, and we still didn't get one. And I think there's going to be more episodes that I'm going to hate in the future. So, if I were to bump any of these episodes up, it would have to be this one. So, you're welcome, My Little Pony. Okay, for this next one, I'm gonna need a judge.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Honorable Judge Poobie. I'm being told to review Heartwarming Eve, but I didn't expect it to be from My Little Pony. Oh well, since I'm here, I'm gonna be ranking this episode in honor of Mr. Puzzles. So the episode was just about the lore of what was going on in the past. The main 6 get sucked into a magic place that takes in the past. Back then, there was a huge conflict between Horns, Wings, and Earth, and they just fight throughout the entire episode. Eventually, they get along and it ends. Now I really like the lore they set up here, but this episode didn't do a good job explaining it. This episode just kinda sucked from start to finish. Therefore, I gonna have to put this stagnation of an episode right in F tier where it belongs. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an important case. Bye.
Well, thanks, Judge Poobie. It was great having you. Now then, let's move on. It's Family Appreciation Day, and Apple Bloom has to bring Granny Smith to school, because Applejack and Big Mac are too busy harvesting Zap apples. But since Granny Smith was embarrassing Apple Bloom, she tries to get out of school Monday. But she goes to school and Granny Smith appears to tell her story. Now, I really like the story she told, and that makes Granny Smith a good character, but otherwise, I really wasn't impressed with this one. C tier. Pinkie Pie takes care of the baby cakes while her parents are gone. When they start crying, she tries everything she can to make them stop. Eventually, flour spills on her and the babies start laughing. So whenever the babies start crying, Pinkie just dumps flour in herself to make them stop. Eventually, Pinkie cries herself, and the babies pour flour on themselves too. I gotta say, that was pretty good. And in my opinion, this episode is a classic to me. This is the episode I've watched the most and had the same reactions.
Uh-oh.
That's an A tier. Oh boy, the first episode where Derpy speaks, but that's not the point. The episode involves Applejack leaving Ponyville to compete in the rodeo, but never came back. So the main 6 try to find Applejack to expose the truth. And eventually, Applejack breaks Pinkie Pie's promise and tries to get away in a wagon chase. Anyways, no matter how dumb the middle part of this episode was, I'm giving it full credits for that wagon chase. I made so many Troublemaker videos using that scene, and that's why this theme is playing. So yeah, this is an S tier.
Trouble for you.
The episode starts with Rainbow Dash waking Fluttershy to get to the stand before the ciders run out for cider season. But after the cider runs out, we get introduced to Flim, Flam, and the new invention they made. So then, another rivalry starts. Are you kidding me? This literally just happened 20 episodes ago. But anyways, when it looks like Flim and Flam won, their ciders taste really bad, so the Apple family wins. Despite being the rivalry joke again, this episode was better than over a barrel. B tier. Rainbow Dash starts the episode in the hospital after injuring her wings. So she spends the few days reading a book that she doesn't like at first, but as time flies, she really gets into reading. But she doesn't want her friends to know. Eventually, she sneaks into the hospital to get the book so she can read it again. Now, I wouldn't say this is the perfect episode, but it had some fun moments, and the plot makes sense here and it uses all the characters well. Sadly, I don't think Season 2 is gonna improve after this episode, so I'm gonna say A tier. Alright, we tried Christmas twice, and those both sucked. Halloween wasn't that good either. So what's left? Of course, Valentine's Day. The Cutie Mark Crusaders discover the Ms. Cheryl doesn't have a date. So they give her a love potion to make her fall in love with Big Mac. But it turns out it wasn't a love potion. It was poison. So the Cutie Mark Crusader tried to reverse it before it ruins everything. Even though this episode was a little bit pointless, it was still really entertaining. So this one goes in A tier. So now we are at the Smile episode. Pinkie Pie meets a new donkey character and wants to make him smile. However, he doesn't want to be messed with and wants some alone time. But Pinkie wants to be his friend and she won't leave him alone. So she annoys the donkey for the entire episode. So even though the Smile song is a classic here, this was still a pretty awful episode. D tier. Hold on, Fluttershy's in this one. Things just got serious. She has quite the reputation so far, so don't mess this up. So, Fluttershy gets tired of being a pushover all the time, and she takes advice from a bull to make her more aggressive. But Fluttershy takes things way too far by destroying stuff and lashing out at Rarity and Pinkie Pie. How dare you not only try to follow up the Smile episode, but drag my girl, Fluttershy, down with you. This is just disgraceful. This episode was fine, but it cannot be excused. You have soiled Fluttershy's streak. I hope you're happy with yourself. C tier. A version of Twilight named Future Twilight warns her that a disaster is coming. So, she gets everyone in Ponyville to prevent any upcoming disasters. Eventually, Spike accidentally messes up Twilight's hair, and Twilight also looks into the sun. And so, she dresses up Light Future Twilight and goes to the past to warn her past self. Okay, this was a weird ending to say the very least, but this was an alright episode. I liked it enough. I think I'm trying to not think about the future episodes and power through the Twilight torture in this episode. B tier. A dragon migration happens and Spike has an identity crisis. So he joins the dragons to see if it can help discover who he really is. But the dragons bully him the whole episode. But this episode was saved when Twilight, Rainbow Dash, and Rarity dress up like a dragon, which is really silly to me. Spike has only been important to a few episodes, but hasn't had much of a personality. I think the concept they came up with in this episode was decent, and it gave the main six some decent purpose too. It wasn't really good or really bad, so I guess that means C tier. So what's worse than Twilight torture episodes? Well, Fluttershy torture episodes, of course. It's raining season and Rainbow Dash tries to get Fluttershy to help make a tornado for the water to rise. But she's too scared to do it because she thinks she might get made fun of. So, Rainbow Dash tries to make Fluttershy overcome her fear and increase her weight power. This one just makes me feel bad for Fluttershy. First her streak breaks, and then she gets tortured? That's just not good. I'm saying D tier. Sorry to everyone out there who likes this episode, but I just don't find this episode to be that good. The Cutie Mark Crusaders start to write newspapers under the name Gabby Gum. But these stories are just gossips about other ponies, as Diamond Tiara demands those type of stories. Man, are any of these tearjerkers gonna change? Next thing I know, Diamond Tiara is gonna be another villain. That would honestly be cooler than the real answer that is yes, this was meant to be endearing. I'm seriously not a fan of Diamond Tiara at the moment. She just doesn't care about anyone at all. And the episode sucked too, by the way. F tier. The main six are on their way to the best dessert contest, and someone took a bite out of Pinky's cake. So she and Twilight try to solve the mystery of who ate the cake. This is when we see Detective Pinky for the first time, and I really like that. And even though this episode is another train episode, it was better than Over a Barrel. Honestly, a really good episode, but nothing too extreme or unexpected happens. So let's say C tier. Unlike Season 1, Season's 2 finale has 2 parts, which is really strange to be honest. But anyways, the main six are invited to a wedding where Shining Armor is getting married to Cadance. A song plays, which is pretty decent if I do say so myself. Twilight sees Cadance acting a bit off, so she crashes the wedding and tries to tell the truth. But now, everyone is against Twilight and Cadance sends her away, and then it ends.
How do they it up?
The first half of this episode was good, but the second half just takes the Twilight torture to a whole new level. This is probably one of the worst, or should I say the best examples of Twilight torture in the entire show. And since this is in a season finale too, I'm so disappointed here. Oh well, maybe one day this episode will do better than F tier. Starting off part 2, Cadance is an imposter, and Twilight must escape the cave and save the real Cadance. This song here is also decent and was well made. Then we get an epic battle with the Changelings, which is very entertaining to watch. I mean, just look at this scene.
I've seen better.
I don't understand how this part did way better than the first part, but that's just a theory. Or should I say a B-tier theory.